This national debate over Confederate symbols is reopening a sensitive subject in Lee County, where a portrait of a pro-slavery leader, Confederate General Robert E. Lee, hangs in the county commission chamber. For years, many residents have said it should go. Others have fought for it to stay. Tonight, 4 in Your Corner's Malcolm Johnson has been working to find out where your county leaders stand on this issue. Malcolm?
That's right, Patrick. I first reached out to Lee County commissioners 24 hours ago, and I'll show you who's responding and what they're saying in just a minute. But first, a breaking development in this story. The head of the Lee County chapter of the NAACP is calling for symbolic action to force that portrait down.
We call on all African Americans in Lee County to boycott the county commissioner chambers on the day that they're sitting as an official body.
And Lee County NAACP President James Muwalkil tells me he's calling on other groups to do the same.
We're asking the Jewish community to stand up, to support us on this. We're asking white voters to stand up and support this.
Muwalkil says it's not asking for much to move the image of a man who fought for the Confederacy that defended slavery, and he dismisses those who defend it by citing heritage.
That Robert E. Lee picture is a picture of hate for me, for other African Americans. It's not our heritage, because that heritage included rape and murder, slavery and lynching.
But others say the portrait should stay and take it personally.
Anger and angst.
To even think about it and other Confederate symbols going away.
It hurts me in my heart, man, because it's sad, you know.
These local members of the Sons of Confederate Veterans talked to me in front of the gold bust of General Lee downtown. No one has pushed to get rid of this monument, but they're wary of the nationwide trend of banishing such symbols.
What's going on across this country is no different than ISIS taking down Christian monuments in the Mediterranean or Middle East.
Muwalkil says monuments are okay in the right place.
Put it in the museum. Then, if you want to visit it, you visit it by choice.
And points out the defenders of the portrait's current spot aren't the only ones who take this debate personally.
How am I to feel when I come to the people's chambers and there's a picture of General Robert E. Lee who murdered to keep us enslaved?
So, where do your county commissioners stand on this? As we reported last night, I started reaching out to each one of the commissioners more than 24 hours ago. I sent each one of them an email asking for their stance on the portrait of Robert E. Lee. As of tonight, I've only heard back from the offices of 2 of the 5 commissioners. The office of Cecil Pendergrass responded by saying he's out of town right now and pointed out this issue was debated 2 years ago and that back then, after overwhelming support by the community, commissioners voted to let the portrait stay where it is. The office of Frank Mann tells me he's on vacation and the message with our question has been left on his desk. Brian Hammond has not responded to our email or text asking for his stance. Also on the no response list tonight, Commissioner John Manning and Commissioner Larry Kiker. When I was talking to the head of the Lee County NAACP and the Sons of Confederate Veterans, I also asked them to weigh in on whether the Confederate flag should be flying at the state capitol in South Carolina. You'll hear their responses coming up at 10:30. Malcolm Johnson, Fox 4, in your corner.
All right, thank you, Malcolm. In the meantime, we want to hear from you. What do you think your Lee County commissioners should do about this portrait of General Lee in the commission chamber? Leave it where it is, put it in a museum. And what do you think about this idea of a boycott of the commission chamber over the portrait? You can call us right now at 239-206-FOX4, and we'll be sharing some of your responses coming up at 10:30.